Hey, it's Honeygregory again, and welcome back to my channel. And have I got a treat for you today? Yep, of course. You know it. He's amazing. This guy is really cool. He is a professional videographer. Ooh, I said it right. Yay. So if you're looking for someone to help you with creating content, putting things on your YouTube channel, your Facebook page, your other several different media platforms, this is the guy. He's going to teach us all about how to create content and that content be effective and successful in helping you with your brand, getting more likes, getting more followers, getting people more to your website, whatever it is. So I'm going to be listening for his advice because I definitely need the help. And I hope you do too. So don't forget to hit the like and please subscribe because it helps me. It helps my guests. People want to be on a show where people are getting help. So help us and we'll help you. Hey, it's Honeygregory again, and welcome back to my channel, Perpetual Learning, where we are always continuously learning because if you're not learning, you're dying. And you know what? Nobody wants to die. So here we go again today with a fabulous, fabulous guest. His name is Zachary, and I'm going to say it wrong, Zach. Oh, shoot. I had it. Now it's gone. Say it. What's your last name?
Clarida.
Clarida. Zachary Clarida. All right, I got it. Woohoo! I did it. And so everybody knows that I've had like a tickle in my throat for the last couple of days, so forgive me. I've been sucking on like these Young Living cough drops for days now, trying to be able to speak. So if I sound like a complete moron, it's probably because I am, and because I'm sucking on cough drops. So welcome to the show, Zachary. Why don't you give our guests a little bit of background? So here on the show, we like to learn as much as we possibly can. So, and the nice thing is you're also in the uh, videography, movie, video kind of industry. So a lot of my fans really like that as well. So it's kind of like a double hit today. So give us a little bit of background about who you are and how you got into this business and doing what you're doing.
As you said, my name is Zachary Clarida.
There you go. thanks for
Yeah, no,
thanks for helping me not look so stupid.
no, I'm joking, but my name is Zachary Clarida. I got into video production when I was in college. I originally went to college for geology.
Oh, cool. I love
Um,
rocks.
Oh yeah, I did too. I started doing an internship, had a lot of fun, but realized it wasn't what I wanted to spend my life doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was working at this cafe, and I convinced the owner to let me make a commercial for them.
Oh, cool.
And in the middle of it, I was like, "Oh, I love doing this. This is perfect
You
for
just
me."
felt it, right? Like you could feel it in
Right?
your soul. Like this is me.
Exactly. And ever since then, I switched my major, went to cinema and photography, and I've done a lot of freelance work. I've worked with agencies. I've worked with companies like Prairie Farms and Fox TV.
Fox
Uh,
TV. What'd you do at Fox?
so with Fox, I was on a TV show called The Spiel,
The
and they
spiel.
yeah, and they were sponsored by Prairie Farms, and so we did some content for them as well. But I
Cool.
did that, and I also worked for a local news station in Southern Illinois.
Ah, what'd you do for the
WSIL
news?
TV3.
What'd you do for the news?
So I actually started in sales,
Okay.
but because they wanted me to still work there, but they
Mhm.
didn't have a position for me.
Okay.
So they like go work in sales, transition over whenever a job opens up.
Right.
So then I went from sales to editing the news. So if anything you saw pop up on the news, that was me and two other people
Oh,
uh,
cool.
editing. And then I went from that position over to creative, and essentially I became their lead videographer.
Wow. So you have real experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Well, a lot of people are just still getting into the game. They're trying to figure it out. They're learning for themselves. They're self-taught. They're learning stuff on, YouTube and this and that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you're beyond that. You have learned it, been to college, got the degree, and actual have real experience. This is fantastic.
I've done that, and I've also been that person on YouTube as well. Um,
Oh, Tell me about
Or-
this. What do you mean?
no, I meant like I still learn from YouTube. There's so
Oh,
many
okay.
great resources out there for learning video
Yeah.
production or editing or social media. Lots of really great resources.
Yeah, I can tell you that there's a lot of DIY stuff I do around the house for myself. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And I go, look it up and poof, pow, there's like 40 people to get experience from, make notes, and then go do it yourself. I mean, YouTube is just fantastic. And a lot of people are using it a lot more. So, as a media production specialist, how do you use social media and all the different platforms to help, other
So
people with their branding?
yeah, so whenever I work with with all the different clients that I work with, the first thing I do is I start them off with getting to know them.
Okay.
Because before you start a social media journey, the first thing you have to understand is where you're at and what you want people to understand.
Right.
So I will sit down and consult with a client for about like 2 weeks
Oh,
and just
wow.
kind of ask them different questions, have
Hmm.
them answer it, come back to me and everything. And then once we've honed in on, oh, this is where we're at, this is the goals that we're trying to accomplish. Here's what we're afraid of. Here's our biggest hurdle. Here's our budget. Everything's laid out. I understand, okay, now I have to figure out how to get them from point A to point B. And so I create strategies to get us there.
So it's
And
like a
so,
content strategy, branding, goals, target audience kind of analysis that you do.
yeah. And so essentially, it's a monthly strategy that you guys get to actually see it change every month and see the analytics in real time.
Mm.
So at the end of the month, you actually get to see how videos or just different pieces of imagery can really affect your brand.
So you keep
And
what they call that measurements or something, right? Where they look at the
analytics,
analytics
yeah.
and you measure how well something is trending or not, if you're getting audience interaction.
Yeah, and what you want to focus mostly on whenever it comes to numbers, because the big thing is stay away from, oh, we got this many likes or this many views. It's the more important part is engagement rate,
Mm,
because
hmm.
that shows you how well it actually affects your audience.
So you say engagement rate, right? Do you mean like, are they actually watching it all the way through, or is if they're clicking and leaving comments? What do you
So,
mean by that?
so engagement rate is kind of a conglomerate of a few different things. But to
Okay.
put it simply, it's a percentage number
Okay.
of, so it's, let's say your whole number of people is 100 people that watched a
Okay.
video, right?
Okay.
And you have a 1% engagement rate. Essentially, one person engaged with your video. A healthy engagement rate is between 1 and 3%.
Oh, that's
Um,
all? Really?
yeah, that's a healthy
Wow.
engagement rate.
That's really
Um,
low
be,
in my mind. I thought it should have been a whole like 50 or 60%.
Well, you would think that. And that's the big thing why I say avoid numbers except for
Okay.
engagement rate, because you'll think, oh, I deserve I had 10,000 views. Why do I only have 20 likes?
Right.
It's like, yeah, that's fine. But, did you reply to any of the comments that were down there? Did you have a call to action that either generated people to reply to you, or did you have a call to action to have them share the content? If you don't do any of that and you're not really coming up with a strategy or like putting your audience on a mission,
Hmm.
then you're really just kind of going nowhere. You're just going to go in circles. And that's
So, for those
why
who
people
don't
get
understand,
kicked
what
off.
is a call to action?
A call to action is essentially something within a post. It doesn't have to be a post. It's all kinds of different forms of media,
Hmm.
but it's something that calls the audience to do something, to act on something.
Okay.
So you're calling on them to take a certain action.
Like, click the subscribe button down below.
Exactly. That visit my website, call
Right.
us,
Right.
fill out download this PDF, check out our course. Really, just about anything.
Okay.
Just taking action in general, signing up for an email letter. It doesn't really matter.
Just getting
But
them
that's what you
engaged to
want to
do
focus on.
something other than just watch your video.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the reason that you would want to like pay attention to an engagement rate as opposed to all the other numbers is because that's what really gets you a good idea as to like how well am I connecting with people?
Mm,
You know,
okay.
because 100 likes doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, because I had 1,000 views on one of my videos, but I only gained like 4 or 5 new subscribers.
Yeah, and sometimes you can have thousands upon thousands. I remember when I was like 19, I did this really silly video and it had 10,000 views. And I was like, this is so cool. I didn't get but like maybe two or more subscribers. It's just that you got to remember that people don't care about your work like you do.
Well, that's true, right?
Yeah, and it's not that people don't care at all. It's just that until they're as connected to the media as you are,
Hmm.
you know, people are just gonna scroll. It's another thing on the internet. It's just
It's kind
another
of like
thing.
your baby. You know, your baby is, oh, it's the greatest baby in the whole world. And other people's like, oh God, there's
Exactly.
somebody's kid.
Exactly. Yes, it's like
Noisy kid bugging me.
it's like, dude, I've seen your kids' pictures 12
Yeah,
times. I'm fine.
today.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. It's exactly like that. So it's not so much that people like that you're not doing something well.
Hmm.
It's just you don't have a game plan.
Okay.
And what we do is we try to make sure that you do have a game plan and you know how you need to interact with your audience. And it manifests so differently for everybody
Hmm.
because it can be personal brands, it can be business brands, and depending on if you're in the housing,
Hmm.
like
Like a real
like
estate agent or something,
like a realist, yeah, exactly. Like if you do like real estate versus
an
a
attorney.
construction company,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like the approach will be completely different.
So when you say it's like the two differences, is it because the audience is different or because their business is different?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what it is you have to know the audience.
Hmm.
If I'm going to say I want to help a client with their demographic, reaching a certain demographic of women that are aged between 35 and 55.
Hmm.
Uh, do you think I'm going to go to TikTok? Probably
Mm.
not.
Okay.
I most likely would go to Facebook.
Okay. So you're looking at the different platform strategy as well.
Yeah. So
Okay.
sometimes whenever I speak to my clients, I also have to give them advice and point them in the right direction of, yeah, I know you want to be on this thing. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying don't. I'm just
Hmm.
saying don't put all your eggs into that basket because these other alternatives might be better for you.
Now, is it a good idea though? Because to like say me as a lawyer, I don't know where my next client's coming from. Are they young? Are they old? Are they middle aged? I don't know. So do you do a broad sweep and do all of them, or do you just kind of zero in?
That's a really good question, but you always want to zero in.
Okay.
You never want to go broad, because
Okay.
what happens is think of it kind of like fishing.
Okay.
Yeah, you can cast a wide net and capture a lot of different things, but let's say some of those fish you have to throw out, you know,
Mm.
they're not they're
Got some
like
guppies
there's
in there you don't want.
that or there's laws against certain fish that is in the net, something that you really have to be cognizant of.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you're really honing in on where you're casting your net,
Mm-hmm.
you're still going to capture something that's still there,
Mm.
someone that just happens along. And that's never going to go away. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
reach more people than what you intend to. But whenever you start trying to do a specific direct message to a certain type of person, you connect harder with them. And those
Okay.
people get connected with that message so much
Okay.
easier.
And so do you focus on website or social media or professional materials like headshots, or you just or do you help people put it all together and work it all together, massage it all together with part of their branding?
Well, for me, since my title is media production specialist, and the reason that I prefer media production specialist is because I'm not really limited to a whole lot.
Okay.
Especially as the business grows, I'll start adding on different professionals with different skills.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is currently, it's a situation where I mostly focus on video production. We also do photos that can be headshots
Mm-hmm.
or helping you with testimonials or anything like that. But really, it comes down to marketing materials for your business,
Mm.
and
Okay.
that can manifest both as like uh, commercial production and social media production,
Now, you've mentioned to me a couple of times something about these three pillars like education and what was the other ones? Entertainment and something else.
and your story.
And their story. Okay.
Yes. So I like to tell people my three pillars of social media content.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're building that, It essentially, whenever you're building your content plan, you essentially want to attract people with three different ways.
Okay.
One, there's providing value through your experience and your knowledge as a professional in that field. That's
Okay.
the education.
Okay.
People will come to you because, say, you're a lawyer and you're providing legal advice, not something that you're like, this is exactly how it is every time, but in this specific scenario, you might run across this. Or
Mm.
as a lawyer, here's what you want to look out for whenever you're looking at lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
How to pick a good lawyer from a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
education.
Mm-hmm.
That pulls people in because they're like, oh, wow, they just are giving me good advice. I really respect that. And I also trust that what they have to say. So they'll come to you for advice. And, that's something that really gets people to subscribe a lot
Is that the
because
one
you're
you were
providing a
talking to me,
value.
kind of like a real like a short, like a reel, a short, what
Yeah,
they call that you could put out there, and it just kind of is a little bit of education and getting people engaged and notice letting them know who you are.
it's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And then the other two pieces of content are your story.
Okay.
And your story is really simple. It's just your journey along this whole career.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about a real estate agent. Your story might be, oh, hey, I was helping a client recently, and they had an issue pop up with their pool whenever they were trying to sell it.
Mm.
And it was part of the deal. So I actually had to speak to the buyer and the seller and situate a solution where each side was happy. And I was able to secure this sale for my client for X reason. And all it is just giving people a story about how you're solving solutions,
Okay.
about here's something that I did, here's something I ran across. And it really helps them connect with who you are. And it also provides, like, oh, is this person trustworthy? Of
Mm-hmm.
course they are, because I know that they went up to bat for this person or not.
Yeah, and
And
I've always
then,
heard that um, the more complicated the solution, I mean, excuse me, the more complicated the problem, the higher income you can earn by creating the solution. So people want to know, I would think, can this person or has this person done something similar to me? Are they capable of helping me with the price they're charging?
exactly, those are the types of things. And then the third one, the final piece of content, because I've already stated what your story and education, right?
Mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
third one is entertainment. That
Entertainment.
one
Everybody wants
is,
that,
yeah, and it's just something to break up monotony.
right?
And the reason that you want to have entertainment pieces is because of the wide net, right?
Mm,
That's the part where we don't have to be as focused on a group. It's just a piece of something where it's fun, maybe lighthearted, or it's funny, it's a little skit. It pulls people into you to know that, oh, this is a person, I could hang out with them.
mm-hmm.
Or, hey, that was pretty funny. I kind of want to see something like that again.
And I
And
think
then that's an introduction into all the other pieces of content that you provide.
okay, and I think society now is very much accustomed to being entertained because
Exactly.
like when I was a kid, we had one TV in the house, and the adults were in charge. We were lucky if we got to watch something on there, and it wasn't allowed to be on all day. That sort of thing. Where now we have entertainment in our pockets, entertainment at our work, entertainment in our living room, entertainment in our car. I mean, we are like obsessed with being entertained. So I think that's an element that pretty much like has to be included in, anything that you create or people have created to help brand or draw people to them.
Exactly. And that's why I always recommend those three pillars. And I also recommend a healthy mix. You can mix it like 40%, 30%, and 30%, or you can, third, third, third. It
Mm-hmm.
really doesn't matter, but you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. You don't want to just be a piece of education because then people will come to you for that and they won't care whenever you post something else that's kind of deviated
Mm.
from any of that. And then you don't want to get too serious because then you can't be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types of things that you really want to focus on. And then if you
Yeah.
focus only on your story, no one's gonna care.
They're bored. Like, who
Yeah, they're
cares? We
like,
all got
all you talk
issues.
about
We've
is
all been through
you.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all you talk about is you.
Yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
why do I care about that? And so
Yeah.
having a good healthy mix is key.
Is that why now I see like lawyers and doctors and stuff? being completely goofy on this social media stuff. People that you used to believe that were very serious, very professional, very, elegant and serious. And now you've got doctors and lawyers and the like. They're like dressed up in silly outfits and singing and dancing and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow, has times changed or what?
Yeah, and the reason they're doing it is because it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, that's why these things are happening. That's why those changes happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that if people really get past the idea of like, oh, because I'm so connected with this content, because I worked really hard on it, it's gonna go viral. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a system that you have to create,
Mm-hmm.
that you have to keep nourishing. It's like a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got to take care of that soil. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to plant the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep up with it. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to make sure that you're pruning it and
Mm-hmm.
making sure that you take care of anything that happens poorly to it. All of that good stuff.
Well, it's like makes me think of seed time and harvest because you got to plant those seeds. It's like a
Exactly.
gardener. And there's going to be weeds and there's going to be bugs and there are going to be people and things trampling on your, poo-pooing on your parade, as my grandma used to say, trying to bring down and bring you down. But when you have a professional like yourself who's can help the doctors, the lawyers, the real estate agents, the plumbers, whoever's out there, trying to grow their business, when they have a specialist like yourself constantly in the game, aware of what's going on, watching in the measurements, keeping the strategy and the goals on track, then they're more likely that they're going to have success.
Yeah, and I think that a reason that it also works too is because throughout that whole process with my clients, it's
Mm-hmm.
not just one of those things where like when you're working with a large agency where they're just like, "Yep, if you spend this amount of money, you're going to get all this stuff."
Yeah.
And yes, that happens, but it's one of those things where we're saying, "I'm not just going to take your money and throw you a template.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do the same thing for you that I do for everyone else. That's not how
Mm-hmm.
it works.
Yeah.
We sit down, we do research, we figure out what's working for people like you who are trying or who are already like steps further than you.
Mm-hmm.
And we see what works for you because some people think that if you emulate a large business that your business becomes large.
Mm.
But that's not the case.
You got to start small. Got to work your way up.
You have to build that
Yeah.
foundation.
Exactly.
You have to plant the seeds.
Right. Yep. To reap a harvest. You got to
Yeah.
plant those seeds. No seeds, no harvest.
That's exactly right. And that's how we operate.
I
But
love
yeah, I'd say
that.
that's the three pillars.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love these. You were telling me the three pillars the other day. I was like, I gotta get that on video because I'll forget. I gotta. So I this way I can go back,
There you go.
and remind myself. So if someone wanted to get a hold of you and your services, what's the name of your company? What's the information for you?
Well, my company is named Hyperfocus Arts. My contact info is on hyperfocusarts.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can either contact me through there or you can just do Zachary Clarida at hyperfocusarts.com,
Mm-hmm.
which is ZACHARYCLARIDA.
And now, do you have examples of your work on there?
I absolutely do. It's got a beautiful portfolio. You'll just have to go there to see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite content on there?
Um, the secret with me is after 2 weeks, I don't like my content.
What? What are you talking about? You don't like your work?
I'm always growing. I'm always learning. And the
Right.
moment that you learn more and you're like, oh, I can improve it this way, I improve it this way, it's a completely different experience. People will tell me, oh, I love that video. I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't exactly the exact millimeter to the way I wanted to
Oh my
it
goodness.
for it to
They
be.
say
But
that about artists, that are never finished with their work. There's always some improvement, right?
exactly. But if I had to say some other people's favorites, I would say the monster video.
Ooh, what's
Um,
that?
so that, Monster energy drinks.
Yeah. Hmm.
They came out with a line that was like coffee infused,
Ew.
and I actually made a mock ad just because I was like, oh,
Ah,
I saw a YouTuber did an ad for these things, and I just want to do my own
yeah.
and see how it goes. And it's just a quick 12-second short of supposed to be a little fake ad for
Hmm.
Monster Energy and coffee beans flying everywhere. It's really fun. I
And did
like
you get
that.
any traction with it?
Uh, I don't even remember.
Did you
Lots of
post
people,
it? Did you post it?
yeah, I posted it. It's on my
Okay.
website.
Okay.
But it was more so I didn't post it back whenever I was doing my business and doing all these things. It was just as like getting started and I just wanted to make a piece of art and
Hmm.
that was it. But I like that. And then some people really like my reels and some of the content that I've done for the spiel.
So, have you ever had to work with clients that are difficult?
Oh yeah.
And how do you handle that?
It's different for every case
Mm.
because, communication is always key.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I always try to tell people is like the forefront of what I do, sure, is video production and marketing, but that marketing and video production, you have to be able to communicate to an audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have to be able to communicate extremely effectively with my clients.
Mm.
So I really just try to figure out what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
What are they afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
Because usually, whenever people get confrontational or worried or angry, there's something below all of that. It's
Mm-hmm.
usually either fear
Mm-hmm.
or concern.
Yeah.
Some people are afraid that you're screwing them out of money. Some
Mm.
people think that since they've been burned in the past that you're going to be doing the same
Mm.
because maybe you say something that was something that someone else said to them.
Right.
And it has a different meaning with you now,
Mm-hmm.
but they have that scar and you can't
Mm-hmm.
change that.
Right. And you have to kind of just deal with them where they're at.
Yeah, and so what I
Yeah.
do is I try to ask them a lot of questions to just best understand them as much as I can. And
Mm-hmm.
then I always repeat back to them what I understand. So if you're saying, "Hey, I'm really mad," I'll say, so what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're really agitated and you're agitated because of XYZ. Is this correct?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And usually that leads you down to the path where they start to mellow out and eventually they get to a place where they're like, "Yeah, thank you for working with me through all of this. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that this is how it works and, I was worried about XYZ and now you've alleviated that concern for me."
What special skills do you feel like, or personality type do you feel like you have that sets you apart from other people in this business?
Huh, that's a really good question. I would just have to say that more than anything else, I just want to take care of people.
Mm.
I'm an Eagle Scout. I've been in scouting my whole life. I love doing community service. Um, I I'm practically the angel in my family, and I don't mean angel like I'm such a I follow all the rules and all that. I just mean, you look over people.
Mm.
And I feel like what sets me apart is that I want to create marketing that doesn't treat the audience like they're foolish
Mm.
or takes advantage of them or exploits something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to organically connect people. I want
Mm.
to make people stay connected and harbor community through anything that they consume around them.
Wow. That's nice. What are your long term goals for you and your business?
Well, I want to grow my business and actually build up a team. And with that team, build a company where we're all in ownership and we all make decisions together
Mm-hmm.
and eventually move to a point where they're dealing with a lot of the production that like, brings in the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to use that to also fund entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to open up some entertaining stuff that just, brings community, brings people together, and just have a very hyper local entertainment company.
Cool. And for all of my fans out there, um, have you done any sort of shorts, as in movies, or have any interest in doing like a featured film or anything to that nature?
So, video production can be so different
Mm-hmm.
in all kinds of different avenues. So, I'm not really big on doing feature film productions.
That's not your dream.
No, it's really fun and it's fun to be part of it, but I really thoroughly enjoy the process of problem solving
Mm-hmm.
and working through problems with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I get out of this. I
Mm-hmm.
really just, it's not limiting me to just video production. it's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, probably not feature films,
That's okay.
um, but
Just curious.
documentaries. I do
Documentaries.
like to help with documentaries and things like that.
Now you're working on a
And
podcast with somebody right now, right?
yeah, so Torlando is
Mm-hmm.
doing Torlando on Business.
Okay.
Hyperfocus Arts is producing it.
Nice.
And we're going to be working with a lot of different home professionals and local businesses and kind of trying to teach people how to use marketing themselves within their own houses uh, to actually propel their businesses and how to thrive as a local business rather than trying to emulate large businesses.
And where can they find this podcast you're producing?
You can find it probably just about anywhere that you search Torlando on Business. I think it's at YouTube currently and Facebook, but it
Okay.
might be coming to some more.
Okay.
But Torlando on Business, Torlando.
Now, are you a co-host on there, or are you just are you the not just the editor, producer, person behind the scenes?
So it depends on the episode.
Okay.
Since I do a lot of the production, it's kind of hard to host as well
Right.
because I'm keeping my eye on the uh, multiple cameras and the audio and everything else. But I am also a host on there every
Okay.
now and again. He more so calls me in for the beginning and the end.
Cool. Well, I'd love to be on there. Y'all need to have me on
Absolutely.
there. I'd love to be a guest with you guys.
We're
Um,
trying to figure out where it's going right now.
oh, fantastic. I wish you well.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're down to like 5 minutes. What is a couple of things that you want people to know?
Well, I want people to know that I'm here in Bloomington.
Okay.
So I moved here from Southern Illinois just about a year ago.
So you're a
And
Midwestern guy.
yeah, and one of the things that I've run into is people keep telling me, wow, your stuff's so incredible. You have really good work.
Hmm.
How are you not doing more? And
I
I
have
said,
seen your stuff, and it is very impressive.
yeah, and all it boils down to is I say, people don't know I'm here.
Yeah, and you're in the Midwest. There's not a whole lot of work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You have to create it yourself, and it costs money and time, and
It does,
like.
and it's a lot of networking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very fortunate to have the opportunities that I've been having over this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I've grown considerably, both as an entrepreneur and a business owner. Just keep grinding, and you keep going, and you fail. Whenever you fail, I don't like to treat failure as a bad thing. I like to use it as a positive thing.
Well, there's a saying: fail up.
Exactly.
Always be failing up because there's a zillion ways to do something, and one way is not always the right way for you. And so
Exactly.
you just keep looking, for the right for you and what you're doing. Well, it's been so much fun talking with you.
Likewise.
I appreciate you coming on to the show.
Thanks for
And
inviting
I'll
me.
put the descriptions down below. You can send all those links and everything to me, and I'll add them to the description. And I'd be happy to help you out any way that I can in the future.
Awesome.
It's been
It
so
was great.
cool.
Thanks for
And
having me.
congratulations on your engagement too. I wanted to make sure
Thank
people know
you.
that you've got a very wonderful, significant other you're very excited about because you proposed
Oh,
to recently. So congratulations on that.
well, thank you.
I know you always look at me funny when I say, your girlfriend or your whatever, and you go, fiance, fiance, my fiance.
Yeah, that's my fiance. I love it being accurate.
Well, I don't mean any disrespect.
I don't take it as it.
All right. Well, it's a joy, and it's always a joy getting to know you more. And we had a great one-to-one recently, and it's been real fun being in BNI with you and several other people. And so I look forward to seeing you grow and what you have to do, and getting you back on here in the future to tell us a little bit more about what's going on if you've got something else coming up.
Yeah, I'd even love to do like a double one where I'm learning something with someone else too.
There you go. I like it. All right. Well, I appreciate you, Zachary. It's been really fun. So, everybody, Zachary, if you need some video, social media, media production specialist person, this is the guy for you. He's ready to get going, starting out on his own. And you've already landed a couple of really big clients. So, I know you're going to go and do, successful, wonderful things. So, congratulations
Thank
and
you.
thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye. See you later.